The title of this Sunday's sermon was From Pain to Hope, and the emphasis that we were looking at from the passage in Lamentations chapter 3 is God wants to help us get from a place of pain to a place of hope. We can be experiencing pain, but God doesn't want us to live in it. But when we were looking at chapter 3, verse 18 says this, "So I say, my endurance has perished, so has my hope from the Lord." And the truth is, when we suffer, we can get to this place of feeling hopeless. There can be moments of feeling hopeless. In fact, we could feel that multiple times in one day, just like for a brief moment, like, oh, I feel hopeless. And then that changes. Or we could really be struggling and there could be a little bit more of a period of feeling that way, or it's off and on, off and on. And, why does that happen when we're suffering? Because sometimes the pain is so intense. It just hits me, it takes me off guard, I'm not used to this, and all of a sudden I find myself feeling hopeless, or the pain is lasting so long. I thought it would be done by now, but it's going on, and you start feeling like, is it ever going to change? Like Jeremiah the prophet says in Lamentations 3, I forgot what it's like to be happy. I forgot what it's like to smile, to feel good. It could be so intense, so long. You're just looking around and you're just saying, nothing's changing. I'm praying and nothing else is changing. It's just going on and on. And in the middle of that as well, God can feel absent. Like, where is God? Like, you can think back to times where you've connected with God in the past, but right now, it feels like a dark night of the soul. Like, I just feel like I'm abandoned. And all of this combines to leave you feeling tired. You feel tired physically, because suffering, you feel tired physically and emotionally. And that tiredness brings about this weariness where all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling hopeless right now. And now here's the thing though. God doesn't want you to stay there. Now God understands. All of us have these temptations at moments to feel hopeless. Even followers of Christ, even people who've been following Jesus for many years, depending on how intense your suffering is, you might be surprised at how you can start feeling that way. But God doesn't want us to stay there. He wants us to move forward from the pain in that moment to the hope that we have in Him. And now, what I want to emphasize here is this change from feeling hopeless to being filled with hope can happen quickly. Now, I don't want you to be discouraged and think, oh, this is going to take forever. No, God can actually change that perspective from feeling hopeless to hope very rapidly. I've experienced it many times in my life. And here's what needs to happen. If you look in Lamentations chapter 3, go to verse 21, "But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope." Verse 22, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in Him." You see what's happening? God is telling us through His Word that we need to remember who He is. And most specifically, who He is for us in Jesus Christ. And in Jesus Christ, when we have placed our faith in Jesus, God is filled with faithful love for us. His mercies never cease. No matter how much you fail and sin, God's mercy is going to continually be there for you. and He will remain committed to you for all eternity. His feelings don't go up and down for you based on your feelings. And listen, just because you feel like God isn't there, just because you feel like God has abandoned you, or even because you feel like His intentions aren't good for you, doesn't mean that any of that's true. Now is the point. Remember, we start with how we're feeling when we lament. We start with how we're feeling, but then we need to move forward. We need to progress to what God's truth says. And so even if I feel like God is not here, not listening to me, that He's abandoned me, that His intentions aren't good for me, here's what I know. And the Bible tells me that God has steadfast love for me, that His mercies are new every morning, that His faithfulness is great. So remember, as you are working through pain, don't be shocked if you have moments of feeling hopeless. Learn to identify how you're feeling and quickly bring that pain to God, talk to God about how you're feeling, share with Him your burdens, and then progress to what is true about who God is and what He's done for you in Jesus. And watch how quickly God will take you from feeling hopeless to being filled with hope. God bless you. Let's keep seeking the Lord together this week.